Why are you stalking me?
I'm not stalking you, and it is procedure, but I am watching you.
Those are the same thing.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they aren't. Two totally different things.
Are they? What's up, interwebs? Welcome to the Storytime Podcast. I'm Tim.
I'm Adam.
And you'll get the cold opener in a second.
It's procedure.
Yeah, it's procedure. We're required by ZOP Gaming. You know, this is on my channel, but not...
It's part of my contract.
Yeah.
ZOP Gaming.
Once in a great while, we have to do a random cold opener.
Random cold.
You'll understand the reason why we did that one in a little bit. But welcome to the Storytime Podcast. And this is where we're going through... This is Season 1. We're going through my first novel I ever wrote. Angelic Wars. Legend of the Godchild.
Book 1.
Angelic Wars, Book 1. So, yes, this is... we're going through this. We are going through Chapter 6 today.
Yes, we are.
Adam pre-records these because it's easier for when I put the audiobook together.
Absolutely.
But we're going through that, and after the pre-recording of that, wow. After the reading that was pre-recorded, we'll come back and discuss the chapter, and not just this chapter, but also how it adds to what already came before, and all that. But before we get to the reading, if you want to enjoy this episode, I'd love it if you would smash that like button and do it as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe because I got writing content on this channel. With that being said, also, if you like bad gameplay, go check out Adam's channel. There's a new person.
Hell yeah.
Eventually, there's going to be a new person on there who's just as bad, if not worse, than he is. And that'd be me.
What? Spoilers, dude.
I know. I can't help but telling
I don't
spoilers.
know when those are going up anyway.
Just like everyone dies at the end of this book. I mean, oh, god damn it!
Why are you going to do that?
All right, let's get to the reading, and we'll be back with the discussion.
Chapter 7. Meeting. I can't believe that I'm on this little journey that was brought to me by someone I have never met until just recently. Sage says as he stepped out of his car on the side of the road. Before he closed the door, he popped the trunk and walked around to it. He lifted the door and pulled out a backpack full of supplies. As he shut the trunk, he was startled to see Cyrus standing there. "You may not believe that you're on this trip," he said. However, you know that you need to complete it. Deep down in your heart, you know this is where you need to be. "What about Natalie and Kiana?" Sage asked. "You have yet to tell me how long I'll be on this task of yours." I'll keep an eye on them," Cyrus replied. "Natalie is almost 15, and she can take care of Kiana. You left a note letting them know you will be away for a little while. If any trouble comes up, I'll help them out." "I'm not so sure I like you keeping an eye on the girls," Sage said. "Would you rather have no one keep an eye on them?" Cyrus asked. "With me watching them, if trouble stirs, I can help them out. If no one watches them, then they're on their own." "Good point," Sage replied. "I'm not comfortable with you watching them, but if something happens, at least someone can step in." "Well, you better be on your way," Cyrus said. "Okay," Sage says as he started up the mountain where his task awaited him. After a few feet, he looked back and saw that Cyrus was gone. He quickly pulled out his cell phone and dialed a number. "Herkimer Community College Cafe," a person said. "How can I help you?" I'm looking for Raven," Sage said. May I ask who this is?" the person asked. Tell her it's Sage," he replied. "Hold on one moment," the person said before setting the phone down. A few moments later, Raven picked up the phone. "Hey, Sage," she said. "This is the third time this week. Should I get used to you talking to me? Is this a friendship starting to take place that I don't know about?" "Really funny, Raven," Sage said. "I'm hoping you could do me a favor." "What's that?" she asked. "My younger foster sisters are staying with me this week while our parents are away," Sage said. "I'm going to be away for a while, something I need to do. Could you keep an eye on them for me? Sure, Raven said. Why me, though? Well, you're the only person I know who I can trust right now, Sage said. You remember that task I told you about yesterday? Yeah, Raven said. Well, I'm going to go do that task, he replied. However, the guy who gave it to me, his name is Cyrus, and he said he would keep an eye on the girls. Something about him just doesn't add up. I don't like the idea of him keeping an eye on my sisters. Cyrus is the one who gave you this task? Raven asked. Why didn't you tell me that yesterday? He is totally trustworthy. He will not harm your sisters in any way. You sure? Sage asked. Positive, she replied. I gotta go. I hope you find what you're looking for on this quest. Bye! Bye? Sage said as he hung up the phone. How does she know Cyrus? This is getting weird. Oh well. Sage once again began to head up the mountain to whatever awaited him. Natalie, why are you picking me up from the bus stop? Kiana asked. I'm just doing what Sage told me to do, she replied. Told you to do? Kiana asked. Yeah, Natalie said. When I arrived at the apartment after getting off the bus, I walked in and found a note taped to the door. It told him to make sure to pick you up from the bus stop. Okay, Kiana said. Why would he have you pick me up? Why didn't he just come do it? The rest of the note explains that, Natalie said. Sage is going to be away for a night and possibly longer. He wanted me to make sure you got back to the apartment safely. We are to do homework and be in bed no later than 10. He left money so I can order pizza for dinner. Okay, Kiana said. Did the note say where he was going to be? No, Natalie replied. It only says that he had no other choice but to go now. He will call if he is not going to be back tomorrow night. That means you're in charge? Kiana replied. Yep, Natalie said. When we get back to the apartment, you can watch TV until pizza arrives at 5. After dinner, we are both doing our homework. Jeez, Kiana said. Give you a little power and you don't mind using it. I'll tell you what, Natalie said. If you do your homework without giving me a hard time after dinner, then I'll let you stay up until 11. Deal, Kiana said. Good, Natalie said. As they headed back to the apartment, Kiana started to run as soon as they started walking. Natalie was not going to let her younger sister beat her back to the apartment, so she took off after her. It was only a few seconds later when she passed her and kept on running. When Natalie reached the corner gas station, she slowed down so Kiana could catch up. When she turned around and saw that Kiana had stopped and was walking again, Natalie was not surprised to see her walking. Unlike herself, she was not one who liked sports. While she waited, Natalie went into the gas station and bought 2 liters of soda for dinner. One grape and the other root beer. When she got back inside, Kiana was just getting there from walking. What did you buy? Kiana asked. Soda for later tonight, Natalie replied. You can have grape or root beer. Good, Kiana said. I can't stand the milk Sage drinks. That's because it's skim milk, Natalie replied. Oh, Kiana said. The 2 girls continued back to the apartment. It was now just down the road. Kiana tried to run again, but Natalie just kept walking. When Kiana realized her sister was not accepting the challenge, she just waited for her to catch up before continuing on. When they arrived at the apartment building, they walked around to the back to the door and went inside and walked down the hall all the way to the last apartment. When they got there, the door was open. Natalie stopped and pulled Kiana to the side. She could tell something was not right. If there was a burglar in there, she didn't want him to see them. What's going on? Asked Kiana. I'm not sure, replied Natalie. Be quiet. I don't want anyone to hear us, if there is anyone inside. What if... Shh, Natalie said. What if it's Sage? Asked Kiana. I don't think it is, Natalie said. I don't see his car outside. Just then, a figure came walking down the hall into the living room. Natalie pressed herself against the wall as far as she could. The guy looked around and went into the kitchen, then came back into the living room. I know you're out there, the man said. No need to fear. I'm not going to hurt you. Now, Natalie was not sure if she should go in or not, but against her better judgment, she walked inside with Kiana behind her. She walked into the kitchen and placed the bag with the soda on the table, then returned to the living room. Who are you? Asked Natalie. What are you doing here? I am Dr. David Toller, said the man, taking a step closer to them as he put his hand into his pocket. Stay where you are or I'll scream, Natalie said. I was just going to give you my business card, Dr. Toller said. I am the president of the school Sage attends. You still haven't answered why you were here, Kiana said. You must be Kiana, replied Dr. Toller, and that would make you Natalie. How do you know our names? Asked Natalie. I pulled your foster brother's folder, Dr. Toller said. I want to know where he lives so I could come talk to him. I tried the phone, but no one picked up. I had a friend at the police station pull his file for me. I wanted to know where his parents lived, since I was not reaching him here. That is where I saw your names. Okay, Kiana said. That still doesn't explain why you're actually in the apartment. I stopped to see Sage, Dr. Toller continued. He was in a fight the other day, defending a weaker student. I wanted to talk to Sage and get his words. We're facing a lawsuit from the two students he, beat up. Even though we have camera footage proving otherwise, I thought I should let Sage know in person. Okay, Natalie said. Do you know where Sage is? Asked Dr. Toller. No, Kiana said. He's away for the night. We are expecting him back tomorrow night. Natalie is in charge until then. Kiana, Natalie said. Oh, Dr. Toller said. Why are you staying here? Where are your parents? We're just staying here for the week, replied Natalie. Our parents are away this week. They wanted to go on a second honeymoon while they both had vacation time. Oh, Dr. Toller said. Well, when he gets back tomorrow, please have him give my office a call. I would like to have a meeting with him. Okay, Natalie replied. Dr. Toller walked towards the door. As he passed Kiana, he noticed a mark on her left hand that looked like a falling star. He remembered what Monono said and knew she had to be the child they were looking for. Should I grab her? He asked himself. No, her sister would shout and I wouldn't be able to get away without someone seeing me. Dr. Toller began to think when and how he would get her. Then he thought of it. He had their address, so he could do it later that night. With Sage gone, there was no one to stop him. Well, have a good night, Dr. Toller said as he walked out the door. As soon as he was out of the building and back to his car, he pulled out his cell phone and called Daniel. After several rings, his wife picked up the phone. Hello? She said. Hello, Jackie. It's David, he said. Is Daniel there? Sure, she replied. Oh, just hold on a second. After a few moments, Daniel picked up the phone. What's up, David? He asked. I found the child, David said. The boy who Monono was talking about. His youngest foster sister is the child we are looking for. I saw the mark on her hand. That's great, Daniel said. Do you have her? No, he replied. I am too well known in the community, If I grabbed the girl and someone saw me, the police would be on us. I know Monono would intervene knowing that we had the child, but no reason to alarm anyone about our little coven. True, Daniel said. So, how are we going to get her? I wasn't sure until just now, David said as he filled in Daniel on his idea. Once they agreed on how to get Kiana, Dr. Toller hung up his phone and drove off. Meanwhile, back in the apartment, Kiana and Natalie were watching from the living room. They were interested to see that Dr. Toller did not just leave, he called someone before leaving. Whom do you think he was calling? Kiana asked. Not sure, Natalie replied. I'm not even sure if he called someone or someone called him. We didn't see if he dialed or not. True, Kiana replied. He most likely just called someone at the college to let them know he didn't find Sage. Natalie said, Anyway, if you're going to watch TV, you better do it now. It's already 4, and pizza's going to arrive at 5. Good point, Kiana said as she walked over and turned on the TV. Well, while you watch TV, Natalie said, I'm going to make sure that guy didn't take anything. If he did, I don't care if he's the president of the college. He can stay in jail tonight. Natalie walked down the hall into Sage's room. After a few minutes, she walked back into the guest room. Over the next 20 minutes, she spent going back and forth, making sure nothing was missing. After that, Natalie gave up and came back into the living room. When she realized she had left the soda on the table, she went into the kitchen and took the 2 sodas and placed them in the fridge. Once that was done, she came back into the living room and sat down and watched TV with Kiana. Once the show was over, Kiana ran down to use the bathroom. Just as she entered the hallway, she heard a knock on the door. Who is it? Natalie asked. Pizza, the voice said. Oh, Natalie said as she stood up and walked over to the door. She opened the door, and standing there was a Chuck Smith, a sophomore in high school and one of the hottest guys in the school. Natalie, right? He said. Yeah, she replied. I didn't know you lived here, Chuck said. I don't, Natalie said. My foster brother lives here. My sister and I are just staying with him while my parents are away. Oh, cool, Chuck said. Just wondering, Natalie said. How did you know my name? Well, everyone's talking about you in school, he said. How you refused to go over to Josh Knapp's house? Are the rumors true? Yeah, Natalie said, looking at the floor, kind of ashamed that they were. That's cool, Chuck said. Josh is a jerk, and I think you made the right decision. Thanks, Natalie replied with a smile. You're the first person who has said that. I was wondering, Chuck said. Sometime would you like to hang out after school? I'd love to, Natalie said. How about Friday? Okay, Chuck said. I'll see you then. Great, Natalie said. Oh, here's the money for the pizza. Right, Chuck said. I almost forgot about that. After handing him the money and the tip, Natalie closed the door and brought the pizza into the kitchen. Kiana! Pizza's here, Natalie said.
So what is a Chuck Smith?
That is a great question. It seems in the chapter we actually narrowed down the definition of what a Chuck Smith is.
Okay, what is the definition of a Chuck Smith?
It is the hottest sophomore in your high school.
So if you're the hottest sophomore in a high school, you are a Chuck Smith?
You are a Chuck Smith.
So there can only be one Chuck Smith in every high school?
Well, of course, because there can only be one hot person.
But what if there's 2 hot guys who are tied? Are they both Chuck Smiths?
No.
Are they Chuck Smith-I?
No. They become something else altogether. They become a Todd.
No.
A pod of Todd.
No. Todd's not hot.
No?
No.
All right. Well, whom could be could be hot then?
Whom? I mean, yeah, duh. What about whom?
When does a 12-year-old use the word whom?
Well, the obvious answer, Adam, is back in 2004, 2005, 12-year-olds were smart. Smarter than 12-year-olds today.
Jeez.
Because they were the smartest.
They were whoming people.
Yeah,
Gianna does not use the word whom. She has big anime eyes.
The fact that you looked at me when you read that and I wasn't even paying attention, I just noticed it, not knowing why, because I was writing down a note or something.
Whom could he have called?
Yeah, this is before I clearly understood character word choice.
Yes.
In their speech. And something I still struggle with today. I can honestly. All my first drafts, I guarantee you, the characters sound very similar. They use the similar speech pattern.
Yes.
I am really thinking when I do my editing, I'm going to do a full-on dialogue pass, which I only look at the character's dialogue and really figure out how they would speak.
Yes.
Because I will never be able to figure out how to do that in a first draft. Maybe maybe in a few years after doing this enough, maybe. I will.
Maybe.
But I don't know. It's been a while, and who knows. Okay. With those two jokes aside,
yes.
Let's go big picture for this chapter.
Big picture.
What are your thoughts?
Right. First of all, big picture. When is the door going to be closed on the car?
That's not big picture, Adam. And obviously, the door was closed by Cyrus when he stole it.
When he got into the car and drove away.
Yes. Because my whole thing does Cyrus take that steal Sage's car. He does disappear. Sage doesn't mention the car, but he's so blown away that Cyrus once again disappeared, he didn't realize the car was gone.
Yes.
Also, my question was this whole point of a mission plot for Cyrus to steal Sage's car?
You know it was.
The car will come back into play later on.
Cyrus brought it home.
But maybe it might not be Sage's car.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with the idea that it is Sage's car from now on.
Good.
Because I think it makes more sense.
Cyrus brought it home.
Other than Cyrus just randomly gets his own car. But other than the car door.
Yes.
Big picture, what are your thoughts? Starting with Sage.
Sage, he is taking that first step on the path to whatever this is.
And questioning why he's there.
Absolutely abandoning his sisters.
And questioning why he's there.
Yeah.
And clearly not trusting Cyrus. Though enough to go on a quest, but not enough to watch over his sisters where he has to call Raven.
Who immediately knows who Cyrus is.
Oh, no. By the way, I have a note here. Raven, the new Jenna. Just not a badass.
Yes.
But the way you had her, that's her voice.
Yep.
You finally found Raven's voice. When it's like,
I'll lose
bye!
it. She's just like,
you're like, bye?
I just, you called me for this. You know,
like,
I'm out. I'm at work.
Why didn't you tell me it was Cyrus from the beginning? He's totally trustworthy. My question is,
how do you know Cyrus?
And my first question was, how can he trust someone he just met 3 days ago?
Yep.
But then, how does Raven know Cyrus?
No.
We've never seen Cyrus interact with anyone other than Sage at this point. So apparently they've had interactions.
Yeah.
But she knows who he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really knows enough to be like, that dude is totally trustworthy. Even though he is the smarmiest character. He's like, nah, we cool. I'm putting you on this path. I should have put you on it a lot earlier, but nah, we're going to do it now.
Other than that, that's all we really get from Sage.
Yep.
Questioning, can't believe he's there.
Yep.
Someone he just met, and going on this, questioning it, not trusting him to watch over his sisters, and then walked off into the mountain to go.
Does it anyway.
Does it anyway. And that's it for Sage's entire chapter.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, do you think it matches up with what we've gotten so far?
Yes.
Does it make sense? No, doesn't make sense.
No.
But yeah, it matches up.
Sage clearly has something in his past that is giving him enough good feeling to go on this.
Yep.
Then he understands.
Honestly, I think we're both putting that on him. I don't actually think it's in the book.
No, but we're putting it on him.
But when you actually think
about, otherwise there's no explanation.
Oh, I know. But honestly, when you think about a lot of books, you're doing that yourself.
Yes.
You're putting your own internal logic is trying to make sense with something that doesn't make logical sense.
You're justifying the situation.
And I mean, that's a lot. You kind of have to do that with any book, really, when you start off. When you don't understand something, you're willing to accept it because you believe there's going to be some explanation.
Oh, of course.
And if it's good enough, you're enjoying it enough, you'll keep finding a logical explanation, even though it's not in the book, to believe it.
To justify it.
Because you're enjoying the book enough to get there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Apparently that's what there was enough there in the Twilight series for people.
Yeah.
Apparently there's enough there for the people who 50 Shades of Grey.
Also, just doesn't make sense half the time.
I actually just watched a video interview with Daniel Green and his agent, and he's talking about how do you get an agent. It's like it's really about being good enough writer, and I'm just like. I'm gonna if I was Daniel, I'd be like, I'm gonna call a flag on the play there because I'm gonna call bullshit. I mean, not necessarily you may find that may be a standard for you, but I'm gonna call a flag on the play because we got 50 Shades of Grey. That is not good written.
There's plenty of books out there that got published
that are not well written.
That are not well written.
I've actually had an argument with my friend Chris's wife, who would say, no, it is well written. For its genre, and I'm gonna say, no, I don't care how well it is for the genre. It's not well written, and if you're gonna say that genre plays a fact, I'm like, then the entire genre is crap written.
Like there are much better. I'll use the Harlequin name for the genre and say it's porn. It's porn.
BDS porn.
There is much better written out there.
Also, the fact that the entire audience...
Anne Rice has a shit ton of them, and they're all actually really good.
Also, the fact that the entire audience for 50 Shades of Grey complained there was enough sex in the first film.
Dear God.
So, apparently there's a lot of sex in the book, but they didn't go full on with it there, and, the fans complained about that.
Yeah, because then it becomes a porn now. There's... The MPAA says that you can only have so much sex in your film.
Before it goes NC-17.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. What you could have done, before we get back on topic.
Yeah.
It's simple. You film a non-rated version.
Yes.
And you cut down so you can get it in the theaters, and you do the non-rated version when you release it. So you can please the fans.
Yeah.
But, anyway. But, yeah. So.
There's so much sex in this movie. Why are you watching it? You're watching porn, aren't you?
Basically, what the fans wanted, because the book is,
it's
porn, but they wanted the softcore porn film,
which is still an NC-17 film.
Oh, I know, but they don't agree with that. Anyway, back to this.
Yes.
Focus on what the main point of this chapter is. Big picture for the Natalie and Kiana, and kind of Dr. Toller.
They had. I do like the interaction between the two of them.
Okay.
Natalie comes across as trying to be the older sister while still also going, yeah, but I have Sage as my older brother, so I don't have to be the older sister. And Kiana just being like, I have the biggest anime eyes in the world. Let's do stuff.
So
I get to watch TV before we do homework. Maybe I can stay up till
11? I put down here...
As an adult, I'm going, 11 is so late.
I know. I wrote, wow, Natalie's the most responsible teenager. When she turns, she's all in.
Oh, yeah.
And then I go maybe she's not responsible, as responsible as we think. She was tasked with making sure Kiana got home, but she left her on the streets when she went into a store.
Yeah, just straight up. She hasn't caught up to me yet. I'm going inside.
And then I wrote, wow, she's really not responsible. Someone sees someone in your apartment and doesn't run and call the cops. Nope.
We're just going to go inside.
He knows we're here. We better go in. Because he's an adult. We must listen to the adults.
What?
The common message of the Christian church.
Why?
You have to listen to adults. They said it. Adults said it. You have to listen to them.
Okay. Now comes the really big question. Why is he inside the apartment?
We'll get there. Let's just focus on Kiana and the interchange really quickly. But like, yeah, because I actually do. I'm actually surprised the interplay between the characters.
Yes.
For my first novel.
Very good between the two sisters.
I don't think a lot of certain character interactions match up as good as this one. When I go back and reread this book all the time, I'm like, there's certain things I'm like, wow, for my first novel, I did that really well.
Oh.
But it's only a small portion of the entire novel. This was not one of those things I thought about. I could not find the section this time when I went through the transcribing it. And I was like, it was a chase scene, like, really felt like I
felt good?
Yeah, like when I reread this the first time when I was going to bring back this story as the Village Trilogy, my first starting to work, but eventually became the Village Trilogy, it was, I found something like I really could not find it this one. But then we're finding little nuggets like this, and I'm like, no, the interplay is actually really good.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's like certain scenes I really understood what I wanted, and I was able to capture it. Other ones I thought I knew what I wanted. Maybe I did, but I did not capture it.
No.
So, but yeah, let's go back to they get home and Dr. Toller's in the apartment.
Yeah, door's open. I don't know about you, but there have been a few times that I've come home and like, you know, a roommate will leave a door open. I just.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go with the whole light thing, but
that too.
The door, yeah, okay.
Door open. I was just like, okay. Very first thing I did, I walked through, made sure that there was no one here, and then just kind of went, gee, who's the idiot that left the door open?
He's like, oh, I know.
Yeah. And then, you know, coming home and finding almost every single light on in the house. Also, that one is less, what the hell? That is, who could be in there? And more of a, who the hell left the lights on?
Oh, wait, I know.
I know.
Yeah. See, while this is shocking, Dr. Toller being there, I think is a surprise. There's more of a shocking reveal before that.
What?
Actually, a little after that. Apparently, Sage has a landline.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because he didn't pick up, which is why Dr. Toller came to the apartment. Doesn't explain why he walked into the apartment.
Not at all.
It doesn't explain why Natalie left the apartment unlocked when she went to pick up Kiana.
Yeah. You know that she didn't leave it. Which means that he picked the lock.
Actually, no. You could make a case where she got home, realized she's got to pick up Kiana, went in, dropped off her bag, and
just skedaddled.
Only had a few minutes before she had to get to the...
But it still doesn't explain why Dr. Toller entered the apartment and was hanging out in there.
I think the direction I was going with this is it was kind of like a mix. They just missed each other. Like Natalie left, and they like she's only been gone. They only gone like for like 5-10 minutes.
He still entered someone else's apartment.
Oh no! The idea is when he got there, he went in like he was in the back he's checking the back. Maybe not. He didn't hear him knock.
Okay.
Idea like this is like an excuse he would use. But like when he's coming back in, he's only been there for a moment.
I mean, it could be. Yeah, he
wasn't in there.
He knocked on the door, nothing, and then he tried the door, and it was like, oh, it's open.
Hello.
You know, much better is she walks down the hall and she hears a hello coming from the apartment, and you're like, who the hell are you? And he's like, oh, I'm Dr. Toller.
Yeah,
I'm Dr. Toller.
This whole scene, but I did write in here, Dr. Toller walking into someone's apartment and isn't creepy, or a giant warning sign.
It's a red flag.
Yes, but if I wanted to be a little more subtle, having him like having the door open, he's just sticking his head in, saying hello. That would be a better way to do it.
She sees somebody at the door. Who are you?
Yeah, like
puts Kiana behind her.
Yeah, he's like, hello, can I help you? Like, oh, I'm Dr. Toller. I saw the door was even better. The door wasn't fully closed.
Yes. It was partially open.
So he pushed in like, hello.
Or he could say that it was partially open.
And everything. But that way, it's you could do a little more, subtleness.
Yes.
Something that I think we're going to constantly say throughout this is, I think you could be a little more. Tim, you could have been a little more subtle.
Yes.
Not the what's the spotlight on the foreshadowing of certain things.
Sage with the glowing hair and eyes.
I was thinking about wearing the same armor as Cyrus.
Yeah, in his dream. It's not even armor. The dude's wearing a leather jacket, cargo pants, a sword, and no shirt.
We've already explained this, Adam. He's wearing armor that's flesh toned.
Oh yes. Super flesh tone armor. It makes him look like he has a ripped chest.
But for some reason, they decided on the armor that they had to put really detailed nipples.
Oh, absolutely. Even hair.
No. These are.
Oh, they're all hairless.
They're all hairless.
Okay.
So you can see the detail better. Also, for some reason they decided to go Batman and Robin and put nipples on the armor.
Absolutely.
Like, really detailed nipples.
You got to.
Yep.
You've got to.
So, but yeah, this is like a giant red flag. But the interchange between Natalie going being cautious is good, but walking in when clearly he knows you're there. Really, you're not gonna run in front when you know someone's in there. Not run, or at least go to the next door.
What? Mrs. Rose?
Yeah. Clearly, she wasn't in at that point.
She'd fallen asleep. She was taking her afternoon nap.
What we don't tell you this is she died.
She died in her sleep the night before.
Actually,
nobody's found her yet.
She actually died moments after Sage called her.
Yes.
No, she decided. She's like, push the phone on. Okay, she's at the peephole, and she just fell asleep, and that's where she died.
Yep.
She's leaning up against.
She's been leaning against the door for like 3 days now. No smell yet, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Don't worry. In about 1 week, somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, who's got the garbage?"
What people don't realize is only Mrs. Rose's apartment is really well sealed.
Yes.
So the smell it's gonna take when the smell gets out there. It's gonna be like months before it finally gets out there.
Actually, I know how long this is.
How?
Because my sister had this literally happen to her.
Oh, really?
Her neighbor next door died in the living room of their apartment, which was 15 feet away from the door.
Okay.
And it took 2 weeks.
Really?
At the end of 2 weeks, it literally, as she said, it smelled like somebody hadn't taken out their garbage.
Wow.
And that's when they finally called the landlord and were like, "Hey, there's a smell coming out of his apartment, and it smells like he hasn't been taking care of the place." And you're just like, "Oh, okay, we'll send somebody by." And that's when they found the body. So yeah, about 2 weeks.
Okay. So by the time this book ends, they'll find the body.
Yeah. Ooh.
A little tagline at the end of the chapter. And they found, P.S., they found Mrs. Rose's body.
Yes.
Mrs. Rose, she died. She's been there about 2 weeks, leaning up against the door.
Yeah.
They actually had to shove.
Yeah, they had to shove her back.
And she fell.
She fell.
And somehow shattered.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how that happened.
There should have been a splat instead.
Yeah, but apparently she shattered.
Okay.
But I do like the fact that after Dr. Toller leaves, Natalie does go through and check to make sure that nothing's missing.
Yes, and then
while Kiana with her anime eyes was watching TV.
Yes.
Though I do
it took them 20 minutes to search the place.
This tiny apartment.
While Dr. Toller was taking a phone call in the parking lot.
Oh, no, after. This was after, remember?
Oh, yes, because meanwhile, in the apartment.
Yeah, I wrote here. I can't believe I actually wrote that. I did write here head hopping scene because in the middle of this we go from which we're clearly from Natalie's point of view, all of a sudden into Dr. Toller's point of view in the same scene.
At least it was done well enough that it's like as Dr. Toller was leaving the apartment because he had wrapped up his conversation with Natalie, he noticed Kiana's hand.
Yeah, it was a simple way to solve this is really. In the book, I use 5 little asterisks
I mean, you could even jump back regarding Toller's point of view.
Yes.
And as to him entering the apartment.
But like the way I'm just explaining to them because they don't see the actual script.
Yeah.
The manuscript. But like I use 5 little stars between as a character break.
Mm-hmm.
And all I have to do with here was literally break that down and put those there. And even though we're in the same location, at least you'll know, okay, we're jumping to different characters. Okay, we're in Dr. Toller's. We're still in the same location.
Right.
Because immediately after we get his phone call, we get those 5 stars back to Natalie. And even though I said, meanwhile, back in the apartment.
Meanwhile, back at the Batcave.
I clearly did not understand transitions.
A few moments later.
I clearly didn't understand how to jump back into another character. Well, you can just do that.
Yes.
Well, apparently back then. Though I constantly do that here.
No.
I just jump into the scene. But for some reason here, felt like I had to put, meanwhile, back in the apartment.
I do like the fact that both girls are literally staring out the window.
Like, did he take a phone call? He called someone. Did he? I think all we know is someone could have called him. No. I think if he did call someone, he's just calling to let them know he didn't find Sage.
Yeah.
Because the guy who's literally in the apartment is totally trustworthy.
Yeah, I also, because we're recording this and it's near winter, mm-hmm. So at 4:30 p.m. it's kind of dark, which means that you would have interior lights on.
This is actually in October.
So 4:30? No. They wouldn't have had the interior lights on. It wouldn't have been dark enough outside, even if they did have the interior lights on, for him to be able to see them.
Now, this was before Congress passed pushing daylight savings back into after Halloween. When I wrote this, so daylight savings was sooner, but I don't think when I wrote this, it was early October.
Yeah.
Because I know I wanted it to be the fall of like upstate New York and everything with the leaves changing and everything, but I didn't want it to be on Halloween where you have to do this ritual on Halloween.
But it's going to be done by Halloween.
No, I didn't want to do that, but I did want it in the fall because of the colors of the leaves. Though I never mentioned the color of the leaves.
Not at all.
Yet I think when we get to
the only thing that you've really mentioned is that he's at school.
Yeah,
which means that it could be anywhere between August and April, May.
I do think we mentioned October at some point.
Okay.
Though I do think when we get a few chapters, we'll hint that it is the leaves are falling. But I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll have to worry about it when we get there.
Okay.
But then after Dr. Triller does this whole, I know how we can do this. Suspicious. And immediately cutting off so we don't hear his plan.
Yes. We even tell you though he's like later tonight.
We know,
but we don't know the details of the plan.
See, one of the things, one of the earliest pieces of writing advice I got, and I think it was around this time, was when you are in a person's head and you have a plan, the character's thinking that, and that you have to talk about it, and it's amateurish. To then just cut off so we don't know the plan. I'm like, no, that's storytelling. It's a pacing thing. I'm like, at the time I took that as seriously, and like, I've seen this before. I'm pretty sure the guy who said this actually did it once in his novels that I was reading. But like, so, or if you don't want them, you have to figure out a reason why they're not thinking of the plan. No, now with all the knowledge of and experience, I'm like, no, it's a choice.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to like that, but at the same time, it's a choice. Because, yes, the whole point, it's not going to be as exciting to talk about the plan and then see that plan in action. Especially if you had the plan going nearly flawless.
Yeah.
The only time the idea is to tell the plan
is if the plan goes wrong.
If the plan is going to go really, really wrong.
Yeah.
Which is why I love from Flash, the WB's Flash, the Arrowverse. When you have Captain Cold, his whole thing is you make a plan, you follow the plan, and when all hell goes through, you throw out the plan.
Exactly.
Thing, and it's a way of saying, okay, here's our plan. Because we're going to the plan is going to go wrong.
Dungeon Crawler Carl, how many times do they set a plan and it never goes to plan?
But how many times in Dungeon Crawler Carl he has a plan, we don't hear the plan, and it still goes off the walls.
Yeah, I mean, because that was the plan.
No. Like, we know it wasn't the plan.
Oh, yeah.
The plan goes wrong.
He's like, you know what? I'm just going to do this instead now.
Because he's throwing a haymaker at the last minute to say, oh, this went off. Let me try it. Hey, it worked?
It worked.
Because I'm in book 5, and because he does a drawing contest, and we all know the reason why Carl survives and he'd be dead if he wasn't the AI's bitch.
Exactly.
Because he is the AI's bitch.
Exactly.
Because the AI likes his toes.
Exactly.
Honestly, no. Even if he wasn't the AI's bitch, no, he'd still be alive. There's like 1 or 2 times that he's survived because he's the AI's bitch. But not as many people think he is.
In book 1, it happens.
Oh, yeah. No, that's it. Like, the book 1, yeah, that's obviously. But a lot, the criticism saying it's Deus Ex Machina, the AI saved. Not really.
So,
it's basically because I don't know if Matt does this when he writes this, but I could see Matt role playing this.
Oh yeah,
and those haymakers that work out. Oh, it's Deus Ex Machina because the AI. No, he just rolled a nat 20.
He rolled a nat 20 on it.
Yeah.
But the first time it happens is after he gets the buff kit for his feet.
Yes.
And they blow up the crack Karen.
Yep.
And he lands in such a way that if he hadn't had the bonus to his feet, he'd be dead.
Yeah, because his feet would have been less off.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So, but yes, we all know. Everyone knows in Dungeon Crawler Carl has plot armor. So does Donut, in a sense.
No.
But we don't care because we are worried. But at the same time, it's more about, okay, how
is he getting out of this?
How is he going to get out of this? How is his plot armor going to get him out of this?
Exactly.
In a sense. And it's very creative, and it really built into the world to make it understandable.
Yep.
And it really comes down to Matt rolled to see what was going to happen, and he rolled a nat 20. And apparently Matt's really good at rolling nat 20s.
Well, I mean, luckily you don't have to worry about that with this book.
No. No.
Because everyone has plot armor, and no one seems to realize it.
No one has realized that they're in a book.
Yes.
But yeah, I do love the fact that when the pizza arrives, we do meet this guy.
We meet the first ever, Chuck Smith.
Yes. Who is the hottest sophomore in a high school.
Yeah, delivering pizzas.
And that's the thing. He must deliver pizzas. So if he's the hottest sophomore, but he doesn't deliver, he's not Chuck Smith.
He's not a Chuck Smith.
So
he's got to deliver pizzas.
So if the second hottest guy, in sophomore delivers pizza, he Chuck Smith?
Nope.
I think we haven't gotten the full definition of a Chuck Smith.
We don't have loopholes yet.
We haven't had loopholes. This is the only scene he will come in. Spoilers. At the end of the book, where he probably should have made an appearance again, he doesn't.
Jeez.
Because probably by then I forgot about Chuck Smith.
How can you forget about a Chuck Smith?
I know.
He's the hottest sophomore in their high school who delivers pizzas.
I think it's gonna be our new thing. Besides, Raven is the new Jenna.
Oh yeah.
Which is not going to last much longer. Or where's my Jenna?
I do like the fact that Natalie goes from, you know me because of the rumors.
That's the
and he's like,
thing.
you know what? That's pretty cool. And she's like, I'm sorry, what?
That's my other thing is, confirming the rumors before knowing what rumors he's talking about.
Yeah. By the way,
apparently
I don't know what rumors we're talking about.
I'm assuming the ones that Erin said she was going to spread about, or the whole, like, we know there's rumors going around about. That's what I'm saying. Confirm the rumors he's asking about, because Erin's trying to spread rumors, or are you talking about the actual rumor that what she actually did going around?
Because that's not a rumor. That's
true. But people could be ruming, oh, I heard these other rumors, but I also heard this. What's going on?
Yeah.
Confirm the rumors, Natalie. Confirm it before you
Before you accept anything.
Yeah.
Just go, well, what are you? Which ones are you talking about?
What are you talking? Which rumors? And then that week he's like, oh, yes, that's yes.
It's also a wonderful moment of Natalie going, I want to hear what people are saying about
Yes.
me. Because I want to know what I'm getting up to.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
I saved a baby from a burning building while flying? Huh.
Now, I have a theory here.
Yeah.
I don't think a Chuck Smith is really interested in hanging out with Natalie.
Why?
I think he just didn't want to walk away from this being slapped like Josh Knapp.
Okay.
That's why he doesn't appear in the rest of the novel.
Oh, okay.
At the end, he really had no interest.
Stood her up.
He had no interest. He's just saying, cool. Oh, you want to hang out? I don't want to. She might slap me. Yeah, cool. We should.
Totally.
Though he's
Friday.
the one. He's the one who invites her.
Yeah.
That's clearly the theory I'm going with. Yep, that makes sense.
Okay.
You know why? Because I'm smart.
You're smart.
Anything else you want to add to this chapter?
Not really.
But how do you think it links to the rest of the chapters beforehand? Do you think it works? Because we mentioned this in the beginning.
You're still building Natalie's character.
I do think we do. Dr. Toller is being consistent. He is on a search for her. He went looking for her.
Yeah.
And he found someone. Though it's Kiana,
not Sage.
Monona was stalking Natalie, though.
Yeah, that's weird.
Interesting. I wonder if there's a reason for that. And there'll be a logical reason for it.
There won't be. There won't be. It won't be logical whatsoever. You wrote yourself into a corner and needed to get yourself out of it.
No, I actually didn't write myself in the corner. I wanted an explanation and thought, being this my first novel, this is smart.
Oh, God.
I'm being smart here. Because I thought a 12-year-old girl would say, whom.
Yeah.
And
you did.
I think that's a great way right there to end this episode. Oh, wait, hold on. Because I'm honestly, I'm no Chuck Smith.
No.
Anyway, what did you think of this chapter? Do you think it's being a logical stepping, building off the chapters before it? Let us know down in the comment section. Also, if you enjoyed this, I would love it if you'd hit that. Sacrifice that like button. It's a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe because I got writing content on this channel that will be up on screen now. Also, if you're in the mood for some bad gameplay, go check out Adam's channel.
Heck yeah, we are the best at being bad at it.
Now that you have a new player doing videos for you who's so much better than you guys, who's actually a pro gamer. Wink, wink.
No, he's not. He's not.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am so pro that I make pros look amateurish. And I bring you guys up to pro level.
No, not at all.
Yes. I am the Chuck Smith of gaming.
No, you're not.
But yes, content on the screen for my stuff. Click it. We'll see you there. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.